Chicka wow wow. Welcome everyone. Do you want to join Marvel Strike Force or play Raid Shadow Legends, the most ambitious RPG mobile game? It's gonna change everything. Okay, that's enough of advertisements. I don't monetize. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Griever back here, bringing you guys Shuumatsu no Valkyrie, Chapter 38, Live Reaction. Based on what Miss Content, go check out his channel, and Vib have, who is one of the, Vib, I'm sorry if I say this wrong, typesetter, redrawer, one of the dudes who brings us our great manga translations so often, both recommended that this was a hype chapter. Now, normally, I've been saving these sort of towards when I felt like the end of the fight was coming. I still want to keep up with my reviews of Shuumatsu no Valkyrie, not do every chapter as a live reaction, but there are exceptions. Well, let's just say it right now. There are exceptions to the rule, right? And, I mean, if two of the dudes that I trust to give me an honest, good opinion without spoiling tell me, this is pretty hype, all right, why not do a live reaction, right? So, either way, let's, you guys know how this works. By now, everybody here knows how this works. I don't start the chapter until about, 8 to 10 minutes into the stream. I make sure the stream's running right. I let everybody come in, what's going on. Because, generally speaking, as you guys know, I don't really put out exactly a whole lot of time notice for this shit. And that's on me, right? But some days, I could have been working tonight. I could have been busy today. I would have no idea. I don't know when the chapters drop. I don't have my pulse, my finger on the pulse of that shit. So, I guess the pulse would be here. But, yeah, I don't have any of that. So, I have no idea when chapters are going to drop more than the next, just average fan. So, scheduling a stream and saying, oh, don't worry, guys. Whenever that chapter drops, I'll be doing a stream 1 hour after it drops. That's just a promise I wouldn't be able to live up to. So, yeah. See, the chat's already moving here. We got Dragon's Rage in here, one of my mods, saying, yo, what's up? Hate Humanity is in here. Hate Humanity. Well, I mean, that's a bold statement. Did you watch my reviews of Castlevania? Because that's a bold statement. I'm not saying I disagree, but a bold statement. And says, hi, I'm Solo Warrior. Oh, Solo Warrior, long time viewer on my channel. Says, change my profile name and profile picture. Okay, so Solo Warrior's in here. I don't think I'm going to keep calling you Hate. I feel like if I continue, I'm going to keep calling you Solo Warrior, now that I know. Only because, I'll keep calling you Solo, only because I feel like with all the restrictions on YouTube, even when I don't monetize, I still get, copyright claims and shit, right? So, because, I can't go on here and say, keep cursing 30 seconds out of the gate. They'll take the video down, even if I don't try to make any money or even attempt to. So, I feel like for some reason, hate humanity constantly being said might ruffle some feathers. Miss Content is in here, who I just shouted out. Go check out Miss Content's channel. Brand new. I'm jealous. Is doing better than I did when I first started, and is a big reviewer on Shuumatsu no Valkyrie as well, does discussion videos about it and stuff like that, and follows a couple of series that I don't. I believe Chainsaw Man is one of them, so, yeah. MC Dude is also in here and says, hello. Hello, MC Dude. What is up, my man? So, yeah, so, as I said, I heard this chapter is going to be pretty hype, so I can't believe that this is a background chapter. The formula usually goes, we start the fight, we get a few attacks, they spar for a minute, then we get backstory, middle of the fight, backstory, and conclusion of the fight, right? That's been the general formula thus far for Valkyrie, right? Also known as Record of Ragnarok, I should have said that. But that being said, that's not necessarily what's going to happen here. We just finished up the Shiva backstory. Shiva, whatever. And I thought it was pretty good, in all honesty. Not the best backstory. There's been better written ones, more tragic ones, etc. so far in this series. But it was fine. Not every single character, not every combatant in Valkyrie, out of the 26 combatants, I believe it is, 13 on each side. Yeah, that sounds right. Is going to have a tragic Shakespearean, oh my God, this is better written than Lord of the Rings sort of, feeling to your heart, right? Like, and I feel like it's unfair. I think I talked about this in a stream the other day or last week or whatever. I feel like it's unfair to go through Raiden and Shiva, who I'm just waiting for Shiva to get his ass kicked. But Raiden and Shiva don't interest me as much, but we just came off the high of possibly the best, maybe not the best fight, but the most emotional fight. Hype moments. Heracles and Jack, I mean, I would argue that the read between the line stuff, the things happening in the background of that fight, the things not said and the things said, is probably the most impactful thing in all of Valkyrie. It's probably the best part of Valkyrie thus far. So how do you continue off of that? You know what I mean? How do you follow that? It's like following, in the first Matrix movie, following the gun scene. He walks in, Dick, and any metallic items you were carrying, keys, loose change. Holy shit, right? And the whole battle with Trinity and Neo, just right there. Not that the rest of the movie was bad or anything. I quite enjoyed the Matrix movies. But, that was the best scene in the movie. Even though I love the Oracle scenes. That was the best scene. The fights after that didn't really top it, right? That was the best scene. That's the iconic scene, right? The gun fight in the lobby. So I feel like that's what we're doing right now. In the same way that The Matrix still continued and still was a good movie, still had good scenes, still had a good fight between Neo and Agent Smith. But I feel like right now, a lot of us are treating it that way. I'm treating it that way. I know I am, because it's just, it's hard to follow such a fantastic act, right? Sort of like coming down from a hangover or high, having the best drunken night of your life, being in Vegas or something, and now we're on the plane ride home. Yeah, it's the weekend, but we're not in Vegas anymore, right? That sort of feeling. I don't know if that's making any sense. I'll stop talking about it. Miss Content says, they broke the double chapter pattern for this month, so I have a feeling next month may be something very important. Okay. Also says, some fight had to be an emotional cool down. This one just so happened to be it. Yeah, and I'm not begrudging that I think that was a very smart thing to do, because if the mangaka had tried, right? Excuse me guys, if the mangaka had tried to top that right after, it would have felt hollow, and I don't think it could have been pulled off. I'm not saying that there won't be something equivalent or even better later down the line, but there's no way. You don't do it that way. You don't stack the most emotional moment in your story, and then you stack the second most emotional moment right after it to follow, because it's going to get lost. Some of the emotion is going to be lost, right? You save that for the sequel, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I definitely agree with the decision. I'm just acknowledging that maybe that's why I'm not as invested, because we just had the hype so far of the series, and now we're on, we reached the mountain. Now we got to go back down a little bit, but that doesn't mean we're not going to rise back up, but we have to go back down a little bit. And I think they chose the perfect characters for that. I really do. It's not anybody from what I understand of the community, nobody was exactly, I know there's a few Shiva fanboys, but nobody was like, this is what we do. It's the Super Bowl of Valkyrie. Sumo wrestler versus Shiva. I don't think anybody was that hype. So, Miss Content also says it's just time for the meatheads to beat on each other again, which is fine. Yeah, I'm just saying that I've recognized that that's the way I've been feeling. I feel like that's the way a lot of people, a lot of fans, a lot of viewers of the series have been feeling. And I feel like it's not that it's unfair, but we just need to acknowledge that, so we look at this with more fresher eyes and realize this ain't gonna be as good as Herc Jack, right? But that's not what its job is. It can still be a great fight. It can still continue the story. So, Hey Humanity says, to be honest, Raiden has the weirdest and most disgusting ability, just from the way it looked in Shuumatsu no Valkyrie, in my opinion. Okay, that's fair. Looks, not look. Oh, just from the way it looks. I mean, as far as a disgusting ability, I mean, it is kind of weird, I'll admit. As far as disgusting, I would say, as far as the disgusting ability goes, once again, I think the idea that all of a sudden Jack got an OP Volend with like sort of like that drop in like Diablo or any of those other online games like Overwatch or what's that other one everybody's into, Destiny, like getting the super awesome chocolatey rare covered, item. I feel like that was his Volend, and everybody else's Volend up to that point was like a gray standard. Oh, what are you buying? What are you selling? Just buying the standard shotgun, right? You need a shotgun. You buy a shotgun, you turn, wow, done, right? So I felt like everybody's Volend up to that point was a shotgun, which, I mean, shotgun's a great weapon. Bam! You can probably kill like 3 people in one shot with a shotgun. I'm sure there's a record. You could probably with the shrapnel and depending on the spread and the type of shotgun, you could probably kill, a multitude of people very easily with one shot of a shotgun. No question. So a shotgun's not a bad weapon. But I'm saying that he got like a cannon, or the most souped up shotgun, like an elephant gun, the most souped up shotgun in the world. And then it was like kind of unfair. So as far as abilities or disgusting goes, I'm still like, I love that fight, but I felt like Jack sort of got like an elephant gun and all the Volens up to this point have been a shotgun, Anyways, so yeah. Miss Content also says, yeah, I personally don't care for Raiden's power. It's a little too wacky for me. It is a little wacky. And once again, this is One Piece or something, or Toriko, where we can accept like, okay, gourmet superpowers, fruit superpowers, devil fruit superpowers. So it's a jacket fruit. Accept it, move on, right? Like, this isn't meant to be that. So I understand why people think it's a little odd. And I think it's a little odd too, but I don't think it's outside the norm necessarily. It's just they're starting to push the envelope a little bit, right? MC Dude says, this has somehow felt like the most meathead fight so far, even though the first 2 was basically meathead fights. Very little in the way. The only superpower really used was Eyes of the Lord. Zeus was just smacking things at stop time speed. But at the end of the day, it was a punch and a kick, right? Adam was doing the same thing with a pair of brass knuckles. Lu Bu and Thor were just smacking 2 weapons together. Like, at the end of the day, those were like some of the most meatball fights. But I know what you mean. For some reason, this feels more meathead, not meatball, sorry, that's like an Italian. Is that what? Yeah, isn't that, oh man, that's an Italian slur, isn't it? I apologize, guys. I didn't mean to mean it that way. I meant meathead. So, any Italians out there, sorry for that. Didn't mean that. I like spaghetti. But yeah, I'm going to be on Daytime News tomorrow with all 300 subscribers to me. I'm going to be all over. Forget the Trump-Biden stuff. Forget the pandemic stuff. It's a 300 plus subscriber YouTuber who accidentally said a slur unintentionally, not directed towards an Italian. Absolutely. That's what it's going to be. But yeah, so out of all the like bare knuckle sort of like Rocky Balboa, like, knuckle meathead fights, for some reason this does feel that way. And I have no idea why. Like, compared to the others, it's no different, but let's see. MC Dude said, they're literally been bashing brains together for most of the fight. Yeah, that's true. Miss Content also says, in my opinion, it's been a better version of Thor versus Lu Bu. Absolutely, because honestly, Lu Bu's still my least favorite fighter so far that I've seen from the human side. And Thor is really cool. I like Thor, but I don't think we got to see enough of him. Miss Content also says, which is sort of just a baseline formula for Shuumatsu fights. Yeah. Dragon Rage is back. What's up? Hate Humanity or Solar Warrior says, when I say disgusting, not OP-wise, but the way it looks ugly to me. Oh, you mean literally aesthetically. I don't mind it aesthetically. Like the sort of the tattoo sort of look and the whole like the veins going out. I mean, it's no different than Zeus doing his whole thing, right? Epic says, I honestly thought it looked cool. Dragon's Rage says, and welcome Epic. Dragon's Rage says, I miss Jack. I hope we see him again. All right, so we're 15 minutes into this now, guys. All right, so we got enough people in here. Let's jump into the chapter. This is chapter 38. Shuumatsu no Valkyrie, translator, proofreader, cleaner, redrawer, and typesetter were all somebody named Demi. Okay. If you guys want to follow along, join my Discord. The link is in the general chat of the Discord. So, chapter 38, the time of awakening. So we see Shiva and we see Raiden, and they're standing back. All right, the scans aren't the best of quality, but we'll make do. We'll make do. I'm kind of glad for that too, because when I make thumbnails, if I have blurry ones, it's like, man, does the thumb turn out bad. So, but for my live streams, I don't have to worry about a thumbnail. So the crowd's cheering for both sides. Finished it in one shot. He lost an arm. He's tough. Blah, blah, blah. All right, so let's get in. All right, so page 3. Shiva. Ready to kick it up a notch. Hooah! You know. All right, so he slams his fists together. His arm's still screwed up. That's it. Yeah. All right, so all the Indian gods India gods are going nuts. All of a sudden, his foot. And now we're meant to believe that he's sort of doing a dance or something like that. We're seeing multiple feet, transparent, his feet are moving. With a bellow, Shiva began to beat out an unusual time. His footwork. Yeah, so he's doing like the dance of Shiva, or the dance of whatever, you know, like it's a classic thing. A lot of the times swordsmen and martial artists refer to a lot of their footwork as a dance. You know, very, very common thing here. So I'm not surprised. Looks kind of cool though. Like he's doing the dance, doing the footwork. All right, let's see what happens. And he's just dancing in place. All right, so Raiden has no idea what's going on. He's questioning everything. Was the rhythm? The dance was the rhythm of the cosmos, which he alone could perform. The rhythm of the cosmos. All right. And we have what the Shiva's dancing from. Oh man, what is his name? I keep wanting to say Helbram. It's not Helbram. Stop thinking Seven Deadly Sins. It's Heimdall. Heimdall. The very weird, definitely not Idris Elba version of Heimdall is saying, what the Shiva's dancing? And we see him just dancing in place, and he's all cool, and he's just bum 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 ba dum bum ba da da dum 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 dum. I'm gonna make up a tune while I dance like Shiva, except I clearly can't dance like Shiva. Not because I can't dance, but because I don't have 4 arms. Bum 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 ba da 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 bum 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 ba da 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 bum 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 ba da 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 cha cha cha. And that's my white boy dancing for the evening, ladies and gentlemen. You are all welcome. Cheers, mate. As such, it was an unpredictable and incredibly deadly war dance. Okay, so my sort of jazzy look, so it's more like dum 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 dum. So it's a war dance. So my smooth jazzy sort of idea behind it was totally not it. Okay, fine, Danny. All right, so we're jumping over here, and we get Shiva looking deadly as hell now. All right, so the super gods. I'm just gonna call them the super gods of India because there's like 2,000 of them. So the super gods of India that are all up there with. Oh man, how can I am drawing a blank on names today. God of Storms Anyways, Rudra. Jeez. See, why am I doing this to myself today? I got 7 Deadly Sins on the brain or something. I'm overloaded or overtired or something. A lot of work going on this week, so that must be it. Anyway, so, all the super gods up there that got beat at one time by Shiva or Rudra. Let's see, they're saying that's, yep. And one of them, I don't recognize this guy or woman, feminine-looking god. That's the move he used to beat me. I think that was the god of death, anguish, something like that. It wasn't the normal one. That's not the lightning guy who smokes. It's not the fire or water one. That one was more of a, pestilence or something like that. Anyways, so everybody's cheering, everybody's clapping, everybody's stomping in the crowd. In response to Shiva's dancing, the other Hindu gods have started to chant his battle beat. Alright, so now it's epic rap battles of history, which is pretty much what Shuumatsu no Valkyrie is, when we think about it. It's basically the epic battles of history, just taking out the rap part. So, alright, his battle beat. That would be hilarious if Shiva just put on a pair of Oakleys and started rapping. That'd be... I don't know if that would be insulting or offensive to some people or something. I don't know, but it'd be hilarious. It'd be out of nowhere. Let's see. So in the ruins with Ares and Hermes lies Zeus, who says, "Oh, so this is Shiva's war dance, known as the hidden treasure of Savarga." Savarga. See, that word is clearly a Hindu word, and without proper accents over it, not that I fully understand accents, translated properly. Anyways, I barely understand Spanish. I'm probably butchering that word. So I assume that's an important word in Hinduism or something. You know what? I'll look it up just so I have a reference. I'm assuming it means the hidden treasure of the god realm or nirvana or something like that. Sarvaga is also known as Sarvaga Loka or Swarga. It's one of the 7 higher lokas in Hindu cosmology. Okay, so it's one of the planes of existence. So there's 7 planes of existence in Hinduism, and this is one of them. Is one of the 7 higher ones. Okay? Alright, so it's one of his definitely powerful abilities by the sounds of it. Okay, so we jump over, and Ares, the god of war, questions it. Okay, you know what's funny? Ares, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. It is hilarious. I've actually grown to like Ares, sort of in a way that you like One Piece characters or Dragon Ball Z characters or any classic big shonens that have these characters that are never winning fights anymore, that are never going to be an actual main staple anymore, but they're still there. You just kind of start to like them. You enjoy the memes. Ares is kind of growing on me. I don't hate Ares. I'm not you little pussy whip bitch or anything like that. Yeah, we can make fun of him, but I think that was the point. Valkyrie took, because it's always Ares. Wonder Woman comics. The main villain of Wonder Woman comics, I know there's a few, but at the end of the day, it's sort of Batman has a bunch of villains, Spider-Man has a bunch of villains and stuff, but at the end of the day, who do you got, really? Batman has the Joker, Spider-Man's a little more diverse, but you could say easily Doc Ock or Green Goblin or someone like that. I'd love to say Venom, but he was a newer villain. But Ares is always the big one. Ares, Wonder Woman, Ares, God of War, Ares in that other fictitious book. It's always Ares. The God of War is the big bad god that everybody fights when they're fighting gods. It's always the God of War who's always angry and always super powerful and always, I'm going to destroy the moon or the earth or whatever, right? It's always Ares as this big bad tyrant who stands above the rest. It's hilarious that in Valkyrie, he is reduced to the sidelines. It's just ironic to me because I've been a fan of fiction in multiple forms since I was a kid. And it's always Aries. And now that I'm almost 30, I'm seeing Aries being pushed over so that the other gods get a chance to shine. I really like that. Like, I don't disagree with it. It's just ironic to me because you go back and you look at the last 50 plus years of fiction when it involves any gods. It's always Aries. It's always Aries. Whenever it's a Greek god, it's Ares or it's the triples, right? It's Hades, Poseidon, Zeus. But if it's ever a god outside the main three, it's always Ares. You know, so I kind of like this. That's why Ares is kind of growing on me. I'm like, Ares, it's okay to sit a break and be a bitch in this story. You've had your time. You've had a whole video game like franchise in God of War. You've had, you know, a whole comic book series in Wonder Woman. You've had enough. You're good. You're good. You can sit down on the sidelines this time. But he questions right here and says, War Dance, is that what it is? Okay, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Hermes, are you familiar with it? Hermes says, I am. See, Hermes is probably one of the most dangerous gods, and I love that. It is Shiva's very own trump card, which he used when he brought that ragtag bunch in Sarvaga together. At any rate, it is quite a unique rhythm. Okay, so was Sarvaga, was that where he fought those final, like, gods? And that's where he became the god king sort of idea? It's which he used when he brought that ragtag bunch in Sarvagar together. So I forget, and I'm not going to go back right now, but is Sarvagar, are they implying that Sarvagar was the plane of existence they fought on, which was that mountain? At the end of the day, they fought their way, him and Rudra, they beat all the higher tier gods and got to there. Because this was the trump card he used apparently against one of them, according to one of those higher tier gods. And Ares doesn't know of it, which is kind of funny because he's the god of war. You'd think he'd know everything related to war dances and different cultures and different... Anyways. At any rate, it is quite a unique rhythm. So we see him, he's still dancing. Ryan's getting ready. Shiva's still dancing. Ryan's getting ready. And... next page, foot stomp, and Raiden's moving in like he's got like that, like Super Saiyan speed or something. Like the whole after image thing is going on. It reminds me actually more of the Gundam Seed thing and Gundam Seed and Gundam Seed Destiny, where the freedom moves is like, and there's the after image that follows it all the time. Nobody can react because we see him, bump, 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 bump. And he's moving. Raiden doesn't seem to be able to follow him. Next page. Okay, he's being hit like once, twice. Okay, so there's two. I count two Shivas. Raiden tried to throw a punch. He blocked it, got smacked in the face, and got smacked at the same time down below. There's two Shivas. He got smacked twice. Wow, okay. And Raiden takes the blow. Shiva's flowing strikes land a clean hit on their mark. So now Raiden doesn't seem to be off balance. He's still gritting his teeth and he's ready. Slams his fist into the ground. Looks like sort of a sumo pose. He's got his feet slamming into the ground as well, gritting his teeth. And then he lifts himself and oh whoa! And he's gonna Kaneko Buster him? Like, because, I mean, if Captain America has America's ass, ladies and gentlemen, then Raiden right there got the ass of the East. Right there. Look at that bubble butt. That's a bubble butt. Yep. I'm staring too long at a man's butt. Yep. Okay, I need a drink. And with that being said, I think I'm going to go urinate. Because we're civilized people here on the stream, ladies and gentlemen. We're civilized. So I'm definitely going to do that. Before I do, I'm going to check the chat and see what we've been saying. And then we'll go on. Let's see. Okay, it's not that long, so that's good. Dragon Droid says, also, I think Raiden muscle manipulation ability is better than Zeus, excluding Zeus diamond form or diamond form. It could be, not sure. Epic says Rudra. Yeah, in response, I couldn't remember names. I'm bad with names today, guys. MC said, I didn't bother to remember anyone other than Rudra. Yeah, I remember the lightning smoking dude because he's awesome. And Vishna because he looks cool. Yeah, Vishna. Yeah, I liked him. Or Vishnu. Miss Content says Varna, the water god. Oh, it was the water god. I thought that was one of the ones because he looks like that fairy tale woman, that the demon from the Book of Zareth that fought Urza in Fairy Tale. Got that same stupid weird V head thing. I don't know why everyone I've seen that in 4 different animes. They gotta stop making that same helmet. It's like when you see the Star Trooper Atlanta or Star Trooper whatever movie or TV show, and then you watch Firefly and you see the exact same outfit on the troops. It's like, Jesus. So MC said, God of War doesn't know about the war dance. Yeah, exactly. One Above All is here. Yo, what's up, man? I said, I don't think any of us hate him. We just make fun of him. Yeah, exactly. You can make fun of him because he's on the sidelines. It's fun. Epic said, well, he was portrayed like that in Greek mythology. Well, all right. I mean, fair enough. Wait, he was portrayed... Are you saying he was portrayed... Sorry, because this is before. Are you saying he was portrayed to be a little bitch that sat on the sidelines like in this? Or he was portrayed like he was in all the other fiction? Because I was under the impression he was portrayed like all the fiction up until this manga. But I could be wrong. Solo says, had to do things anyways in the actual Greek mythology. Ares is a joke. He even got kidnapped at one point. Oh, okay. All right. I guess I didn't know. Miss Content says, oh, right. He was. I forgot. Yeah. Miss Content said, basically, no one on Olympus likes Ares, and he gets shafted in a ton of myths. I mean, I knew he got shafted in a lot of myths, but I still thought, he was the god of war, and he still, rampaged on Earth a couple times or something. Anyways, I'm not really caught up. I haven't been super into the Greek mythology since I was growing up with the Age of Empires video games on Windows 98. Don't carbon date me, guys. I know I'm fucking old. But yeah, so that's when I was super into mythology, and it sort of waned over time. And once I got more into Japanese mangas and animes, I started focusing on Japanese mythology and stuff. So I'm probably a little out of tune and out of date with my Greek stuff. Miss Content says, Sarvagar seems to just refer to the Hindu pantheon in this, or yes, at least the higher tier gods. Okay, so it's a little different, but that's fine. Solo says 3 times 1 is kind of hidden. 3 times 1 is kind of... I'm sorry, I don't know really what you mean, Solo. MC Dude says, I would love to see Ryder pull off a muscle buster. Yeah, instead of the Kaniku Buster or the Butt Buster, boom, For anybody who didn't get it, that's from the Kaniku Man Legacy, also Ultimate Muscle, done by 4Kids. 4Kids didn't do that bad, guys. Yeah, they screwed up some stuff, but we're all still singing the One Piece rap. We all still love Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! We're doing fine. Did MC Dude also said, did the ride and rear make Griever thirsty? A little bit. Dragonzer says, Griever is always thirsty for a beer. Absolutely. See, but I already have beer stocked. I'm ready to go. I got a fresh beer ready to go. So, all right. Soul says, Shiva hit Raiden 3 times, not 2. One of the hits is kind of hidden. Oh, that's what you mean. Okay, yeah, because I kind of looked. I saw definitely 2 Shivas and 2 hits, solid, but I wasn't sure. There was a lot of blurry motion. I saw Raiden miss the punch that Shiva ducked for. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. So he got hit 3 times. Wow. Anyways, yeah, guys, just going to go use the washroom, the bathroom, the lavatory, and I will be right back. And then we will continue the chapter. How do I do this? Alright, that was a nice quick leak. Let's see. One says, the manga better put Hermes in a fight. He's been hyping him off since the start. Yeah, I'm really surprised at the difference in Hermes. A lot of the gods are stereotypical of what we expect. Zeus is a little off. But Odin, Thor, Loki. Alright, Loki being a little hipster brat teenager, fine. But trickster and all his personality, all good. Buddha's definitely original. Zeus is pretty original. Hermes, very original, right? There's been a few very original like takes on the gods that you just would not expect, for sure. All right, so let's get into this again. So what page are we on, ladies and gentlemen? We're on page 12. So we're seeing some crazy like Chinese lion, you know, the classic, like I think they call it a Chinese lion. The statue, you know, that sits there guarding the entryway. There's a lot of myths about that, like roar, like that sort of idea. While he does like sort of a handstand down into his two front legs bent or going forward, sort of idea. His feet straight down. I mean, he's only got two legs, two front legs, whatever. But they're bent at the knees, seem to be coming down. And he's saying, eat this. And he's going to slam, like he's going to like spring over himself and slam his two legs down onto his shoulders or something, or onto his head. Let's see what happens. And Shiva gets completely inside of the attack. Oh, so Raiden's bubble butt is completely flat now. So I guess deflate gate is a real thing. So Shiva managed with his war dance, whatever, slipped into the blind spot, dodged the attack, and is now right there with an open shot at basically anything of Raiden's. And he uses it, kicks him right in the back, right in the lower back. That would break anybody's back. Like, damn. Alright, so it breaks him, launches him into the air. Well, at least backwards. Shiva continues to move in this crazy Ultra Instinct sort of way, like with the war dance, with the after images. And let's see what we got here. Raiden manages to stop himself, gain his ground, and there's a fist in his face. Boom! Uppercut to the jaw. Devastating. He takes 1, 2, 3. I'm seeing 3 hits this time. 2 elbows and a punch by the looks of it. There might be more. I missed one last time. But I'm seeing 2 elbows and a punch to his chest this time. The crowd's going wild. Raiden's foaming at the mouth. Shocked as hell. And then he gets, oh man, his collarbone. He gets a jumping legs heel slammed down across his shoulder. Ow. God damn it. And Raiden's thinking to himself, he's not letting up. Oh, I don't know. Okay, JoJo going on here. Order, 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 order. You know, order, order, order. You know, so he's slamming against him. Now Raiden seems to be defending some of the punches, but by the looks of the bottom part of the screen, not all of them. So he's saying, let's go all the way, and he's slamming into it. It looks like there's 3 Shivas fighting him. He's moving so fast. And he's saying, don't miss a beat. You guys got that? And everybody's cheering. Well, of course, on the God side, everybody's cheering. And it seems like Rudra is starting to tap his feet to the beat, saying, ta ki ta, ta tin gi na, thom. Okay, so he seems to be tapping his feet. What's that mean? I guess it's the sound they used to make, or their war dance song, maybe? I wonder what that is. Like, could that be like, sort of like a musician's notes? Like he's saying like, you know, D flat, E, A, B, You know, that kind of stuff. Is it like, is he counting the steps? Is that what he's saying or something? I'm not too sure. Let's see. He's jumping over there. So Raiden's still facing what looks like 3 Shiva. Like, he's on his feet, which is impressive as hell. But Shiva's like not letting up. Rudra's cheering with a smile on his face, continuing to say these weird things. Ta, ka, di. Like, could this be 1, 2, 3, 1, 6, 5, 1, 4, 3? Like the steps? Are these like the Hindu words for like numbers? And it's the steps of the dance? Because a lot of the time when you choreograph a dance, how do I know these things? But when you choreograph a dance, you actually have step patterns, and you use numerical numbers to be able to do it in the same way that musicians use letters to talk about different chords to play and different notes. In this way, they use numbers, so maybe these are the numbers of the dance, and he's reaching higher and higher step numbers, because he's still yelling at him, saying ta, ka, di, mi, ta, ki, ta. And I'm assuming they're all separate words, like mi, ta, ki, ta. Like, you know, like 4, 6, 4, 6, or whatever it would be. Well, we see ta a lot, so ta could be 1. So 1, 3, 5, 4, 1, 6, 1, or whatever it is. Hard to say. Maybe we'll get an explanation, maybe we won't. Or it could just be a translation thing. I have no idea. Either way, okay, so Shiva then goes in for another headbutt. This time, you know, Raiden's just overwhelmed. He's flowing back. Rib shot, kidney shot, kidney shot, kidney shot. A knee to the kidneys. Holy damn. You know, I mean, it's not really the kidneys where it's at the front. Kidneys are at the back, but it's still in that area. It still looks painful as hell. He's about to... No, wait, he can't fall. So Raiden looks like his eyes are whited out, like he's going to pass out from this. And he's still getting punched in the face. Shiva's going to hold him up with his fists. Eesh. Shiva's dance isn't over yet. Yeah, so Raiden's just basically a mannequin, and Shiva's going to town. Now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of him just dancing around him, slamming him, keeping him upright. Like, boom, hit him that way. Oh, no, you're over this way. Boom, over that way. Nope. Wait a minute for this. Clothesline, you know. That's what he's doing. Wow. Okay, that's pretty devastating. Like, this is an impressive move. I'll give it that. But just to piss people off, anybody who, for some reason, like, I'm told that there are people out there that thinks that Shiva could have beaten Adam, and this would have been copied by Eyes of the Lord. I'm just saying, like, so far, I haven't seen anything. I'm waiting to the end of the fight to make a full judgment, but I'm still of the opinion Adam would have beaten Shiva, and that's why Zeus pinched hit. He was worried that the gods were going to lose. He was scared. He wasn't scared of Adam. He was scared that Shiva would lose to Adam, so he went, it's my turn. That's the reason Zeus did that. I don't think it's because, no, I want to play. Zeus ain't Zeno from Dragon Ball Z, guys. You know? So, yeah, I'm still of that opinion. So far, this is impressive as hell, and it's working on Raiden, of course, and it's looking pretty bad for Raiden right now. But this war dance of Shiva's wouldn't work on Adam. But maybe Shiva's got more up his sleeve. I imagine he does. I don't think this is near the end of the fight yet. So we got Ares and Zeus and Hermes again. To think that Shiva, that the peak of Savagar was this strong. Okay, Ares, you've seen Heracles, Jack, Zeus, Adam, Sasuke all fight. You saw Poseidon flood the place. This ain't like I'm not trying to like dwindle down because I'm not a huge Shiva fanboy. You guys know that. I'm not trying to take away from that this is impressive, but why are you shocked that Shiva can fight with his fists? Like at the end of the day, he's just fighting, hand-to-hand combat really well. Like, I don't know. It seems to be a bit of a... So Hermes seems to be tapping his foot now with musical signs, so maybe he's being caught up in the room. Is that the trick? Like, Rue just started doing it, and now Hermes is tapping his foot. Is that going to be the thing? That as, like, it's the war dance, it's the rhythm of the cosmos, so as he gets more people caught up in the sway of his rhythm, as he continues to fight, more people get caught up, and they're like, oh yeah, this beat, I don't know why I'm tapping my foot, I don't know why I'm snapping my fingers, oh yeah, why am I playing air guitar? Yeah, this is the rhythm, this is the beat of the cosmos, oh yes, bam, is that increasing the power of the dance? As more people get involved in a subconscious way, involuntarily, does it increase it? I'm wondering. We might not get the answer to this chapter, but I have a feeling that's what's going to make this dance so deadly. Because Hermes called it his trump card. Now, as I said, this is impressive. Like, we're seeing he's moving so fast that there's like 5 at once to Raiden's eyesight. Like, he's being hit from all sides. So it's fast as hell. But Zeus is faster. We saw Zeus. Zeus stopped time and moved within stopped time. And it still got caught by eyes of the Lord. So, like, though this is impressive, it's not the fastest we've seen so far in the series. But if it can continue to grow, all right. This could potentially be really deadly. I hope I'm right about this. I really do, because that would be impressive to me. I would be like, okay, Shiva's got some goddamn moves. Not pun intended, but it worked. Let's jump over. Oh, Zeus is dancing. Cute. Hermes says, it's a rather pleasant tune, don't you think? And Zeus is there. Ho, 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 ho. And Ares is going, that? Pleasant? Ryan's getting his ass kicked. I can't stop sweating. Hermes says, due to its unpredictable rhythm, Shiva can keep that multi-hit attack up incessantly. And as for Raiden, I imagine he's under the impression of being attacked by many, many different enemies all at once, which is what we're being portrayed to see right now. Someday, I would love to dance with Shiva as well. Oh, Hermes. Look at that evil look on Hermes. Like, he's like, someday, I'd like to take that on. I want to test out my musical talent against his, like my talent of the arts against his. Because remember, he was playing the violin and dancing with Zeus, right? So, I would love to dance with Shiva as well. Okay, so this gives us some information, though. It's an unpredictable rhythm. Usually, see, that's referred to styles like Mugen from Samurai Champloo or like drunken boxing. The idea of drunken boxing and drunken martial arts and stuff is, literally you get drunk so your movements are swayed, but in some practices. But in other practices, the idea is to be unpredictable, lose form. A formless form, it's the formless form, right, of your style. And that's how it works, like almost everything has rules. Almost every concept and everything in the world has rules. Writing has rules, fiction has rules. Music, art, creative, anything, everything, every job we do, there's a certain set of rules that you can tweak, you can go in the gray, you can, modify, you can sort of slither around, but for the most part, the rules basically are the rules. You can't really break them, the core rules of things. You can, but it's not going to work. You imagine writing a story that didn't, like, let's break the core concepts of how to write a story, beginning, middle, end, right? Like basic stuff. The basic core rules of almost everything in this world can't be broken. However, now you're talking about going, like, sort of thinking outside the box. You're not breaking the rules. You're just putting them to the side. You're not breaking any rules. You're just not following them either. And that's like the formless form. That's like drunken boxing and stuff. So this is what this sounds like to me. The unpredictable rhythm is how he can constantly hit while dodging at the same time. Ultra instinct, pretty much, right? And, or you could call it not the formless form, but the perfect form. But then we're talking about Cell. So, yeah, Hermes looking dangerous as fuck. I'd love to see. I think Hermes got to be one of the strongest. Like, he's being built up so much. Oh, we haven't seen Brunhild in a while. See how she's doing. So we got Goal here, who's saying, or Ghoul, this isn't looking good, sister. It's basically one-sided if this keeps up. And then Brunhild says, Goal, take a closer look at Raiden's arms. Okay, he's blocking. I don't know what's going on with his arms, but he says, don't get too cocky, bud. Okay, Raiden, you're kind of cool. I love that you don't discriminate between furries and basically anything that's a woman. You're good to go, right? Anything that is possible to have sex with that isn't, like, horrific in nature, that wants to have sex with you, as long as you got consent, you're good to go. I love your openness, my friend. I love it. But you ain't Wolverine. Alright, so I know his thing is bub, but anytime I see too cocky, bud, like, I just think Wolverine, you know? Like, I know it's bub, but it's too close, man. It's too close. Raiden, you ain't Hugh Jackman, man. You ain't Hugh Jackman. Yeah, I don't care for that. All right, let's jump over to the chat. Let's see what the chat's saying before we continue. That way I can catch a break. I'm in no rush. It's only 8:30 my time. I got time. All I gotta do is heat up some dinner. I cooked an amazing bacon wrapped roast last night, guys. Lime chili heat. It was delicious. So that's my leftovers. Let's see. Oh, we got quite a bit here. Oh wow. We got quite a bit. All right. So one says the mangaka better put Hermes in a fight. He's been hyping him the fuck out of him since the start. Absolutely. I just said that. Same deal. Yeah. Solo says, if I'm not mistaken, Hermes was on the list of fighters. No, he was not. Hermes is not on the list of fighters. That's why everyone's like, where's this going? What are we doing? Excuse me. Epic says, nah, that was Apollo. Yeah, that's right. Dragon said Shiva Ultra Instinct. That's pretty much what this is. But Ultra Instinct isn't necessarily original Dragon Ball either. We've seen this, as I've already explained, we've seen this in multiple works of manga and other fiction and movies and stuff. It's basically reaching the pinnacle. So you just move accordingly, right? The one above all says, now I get why Adam was meant to be the opponent of Shiva. Adam is basically a counter to Shiva. Yeah, like, completely. Like, Shiva would lose so hard. If this is his trump card, if this is... I'm actually predicting now, this might be close to the end of the fight. You know, what if we don't get... Like, do we really need a big Raiden backstory? We don't really. We know enough about him. As I already said at the beginning of the stream, not everybody needs some big, super Heracles-level backstory or Jack the Ripper-level backstory. You know, like, we could get like half a chapter of flashbacks and then Raiden wins. We could get that. Now, I don't really know who's going to win this. I have no clue. I am 50-50. I have no idea. Like, not even an inkling. I don't even have a gut feeling or, like, who do I want to win. Honestly, I don't really care who wins. Like, I'm kind of detached from this fight. But, yeah, like, so far, this looks like, if this is if this is Shiva's best, Adam would have kicked the shit out of him. Miss Content says, now think if Zeus didn't intervene, Shiva and Adam would have had a dance-off. But Adam would have done it first. That's the kicker. Adam, the eyes of the Lord, read it and do it before you can. Even at stop time. So, that would be cool. But it would have been basically an epic dance-off. DDR style. Would have been cool. Dragon just says, I was about to say that. Epic says, I still think Adam would have won. Adam would have won, absolutely. I have seen nothing of Shiva that convinces me. The only other god that I think might have been able to beat Adam is Odin. And that opinion has not changed. We haven't seen Odin fight, but just the namesake alone holds so much prestige that I'm thinking that Odin might have enough abilities that might have been able to take down. That, once again, right down to the wire like Zeus, but the only two gods that could have went the distance with Adam before Adam's eyes gave out and he died was that. Miscontent says, you can see the audience shouting the beats to the dance throughout the chapter. They're easily mistaken for sound effects. Oh, fair enough. I probably did miss those. Dragon's Rage says, I guess Adam would be dancing with the gods, am I right? Karyan and Abba for Shiva. 9! The one above all says, I see why anyone would have problems with Shiva do the dance and why Adam would counter it hard. Yeah, counter it hard. He'd destroy him. Also, yes, Adam would be dancing with him. Yeah, that'd be funny. Miss Conda says, I really hope we get fan art of them doing that. I would love that, says one. Yeah, absolutely. Dragon says, we need a fan animation of that. Of course we do. That'd be amazing. The one said, also, yes, Griever, that is the song of the dance where Shiva said, don't skip a beat, guys. Okay, so it's part of the song that matches up with the dance. All right. Solo says, well, Adam has super strength and super speed, even without his eyes. He took hits from Zeus when his eyes stopped working and he can still dodge better. What? Shiva can't beat Adam. Yeah. Or you mean why? Why Shiva can't beat Adam? Yeah, Shiva can't beat Adam. One says, yeah, he was already a top tier, even without the eyes of the Lord. The eyes just make him broken. Absolutely. He's the most powerful non-god. Adam was the strongest thus far. Adam, where he copies his already good stats, are already on whatever he's copying. Yeah. Dragon's Rage says, wait, if Adam fought Jack, would he copy Jack's strength and be as weak as him? See, but once again, according to everyone, Adam's already super, they're souped up humans and stuff. Jack wouldn't be able to do anything that Adam wouldn't be able to. Basically, by the looks of it, Adam basically had, Katakuri observation hockey. He saw enough seconds into the future that he could see an attack coming, dodge it, and perform the same attack before that person could actually finish the attack. Because every single time, Zeus stopped time, used an attack faster than stop time, and Adam still, with the eyes of the Lord, saw the attack and did it before him. So it's basically like the perfected observation hockey. You can't stop it. So it doesn't matter if how weak Jack is. If Adam's stronger, he's going to kick the shit out of him. And if he's not, well, I mean, you could argue that for Heracles, but he's got that observation hockey, so he never would have got a one-up like he did on Heracles. Solo said no because his strength was not his power. It's true too. One says, don't think so, he would just copy his moves. Right. Ares is just saying he is surprised Shiva is that strong, I suppose, but I'm not that surprised. Everyone's been hyping up Shiva so much, I'm expecting this dude to be super strong, right? Miss Content says, I guess it's just really catchy. One says, also, nah, people dancing, etc. does not seem to increase power or anything like that. I'm just saying, I haven't gone through the chapter. It just seems like more and more people are getting into it. First we saw Rudra, and then, the crowd was into it, then Rudra was into it, then we saw Hermes tapping his feet, Zeus getting into it. I was like, the more people that get into it, is that a buff? I was just curious. Still could be, don't count me out. We haven't seen the whole chapter. One says, the reason why the dance is so dangerous is because the footwork around enemies don't seem to be able to follow it. Exactly. And once again, I compared it to drunken boxing. If you know all the martial art forms, but if the footwork is unpredictable, then you can't follow the footwork. And then, because usually that's how people strike. One says, I swear the mangaka is teasing the fuck out of us with Hermes. Excuse me, guys. Absolutely he is. Miscontent. I never thought of that. Hermes being a musician and Shiva being a dancer would make a pretty cool combo. I'd love to see them sort of work together. Almost. I think that'd be cool. Excuse me, guys. Throat's getting a little dry, unfortunately. Yeah, that's why streams suck without, even if you drink a bunch of water and stuff, it's just like beer, you're pissing all the time, or, your throat starts to get like mine, and I have bad lungs, so. Let's see. Epic says, I always saw Hermes as a god version of Brunhild. They're pretty similar. Yeah, I mean, they definitely are similar in a lot of ways. Miscontent said the two of them have actually been show opposing each other like the fighters for some old cover art, so that's pretty accurate. Yeah. MC said Raiden is a huge jacked man though. Alright, I thought I was thirsty over Raiden. MC Dude, clearly you be the thirsty one. One said Adam moving at stop time basically means Adam is able to react and move at infinite speed. He basically moves faster than time. Exactly, and so far, though Shiva is moving super fast, he's not moving faster than that. That's all I'm saying. Miscontent says, it's weird Shiva hasn't done anything with his eyes yet unless they were a red herring, which makes me wonder if this isn't all he has left. He might, yeah, I'm still wondering if he's got a triple eye move. He might. But if this is the end of it, it's not that bad. But I feel like maybe the mangaka is like, oh shit, I'm getting too deep into super crazy powers, and it's actually kind of smart to sort of climb it once again, not only the emotional side of the Herc Jack fight, but to climb the stakes back down a little bit as far as the fight goes, because remember, we saw the flashback. All we really saw of Shiva was fist fighting. He didn't use any special powers. There were no eye powers or anything, no solar flares going on. He just fisticuffs, right? Because if we keep stacking this, what's going to happen is that if it keeps getting stronger, it's just like how they were able to destroy planets at the end of Dragon Ball. Somehow they're able to punch each other and not destroy entire galaxies in Dragon Ball Super when they're gazillion times stronger, right? The power scaling unfortunately gets off-put because they're like, there's no freaking way anymore. It gets too big for its britches. So in this case, that's what they're doing. I think the manga is being smart here, going look, yeah, we know we're getting a little crazy, but remember, not every combatant, just because it's the 7th fight doesn't mean it's the best fight, right? Or the 9th fight, right? They're going to have to bring the energy back down. We had Zeus and Adam, probably the two strongest on either side, roughly. That was probably the biggest fight, as far as crazy shit happening. Not saying we're not going to get more crazy shit, but Shiva Raiden, I think it's going to boil down to a fist fight, right? Lu Bu, Thor, epic, but a fist fight. Zeus, Adam, fist fight, right? It's we definitely have to maintain a certain level of realism even in this setting, because last thing you want to do is compare fights 12 and 13 and be like Thor and Lubu, Adam and Zeus, Poseidon and Sasaki, they're all bitches in comparison to these guys. Their powers are Super Saiyan God level and these guys are just freaking Saiyans. In comparison, you don't want the power scaling to keep creeping up to make everybody before it slowly look worse and worse, right? So I think this is smart. If this is all Shiva's God, if this is Shiva's final move, I'm okay with it. I really am. Let's see. Epic says, I think the hidden eyes are nothing but an aesthetic choice of the artist. I would love to be wrong, though. But, I mean, that's fine, too. like, I'm okay if there's a hidden eyes thing, but we can't get too big for our britches because I'm worried about it creeping up. And then we look back on the first four fights compared to the last 3 or 4, and we're like, man, everyone in the first few fights were bitches. And then you got guys like me or like the other fans, Adam was still strong. It's like, yeah, but we found like 8 counters to beat Eyes of the Lord. But I mean, the manga got stupid after fight number 8. Man. You know, like, we don't need that to happen, right? So we got to make sure the power scaling stays on point. Where it's this big and epic, right? One says, yeah, the eyes just seem to be there for our artistic style, which is cool. One says, yeah, 100% Shiva is not as fast. I admit he is a strong one and would give problems to many fighters, just not Adam. Right. Miss Ganda says, I think cutting at the fight's last chapter may have actually been so that his abilities wouldn't be revealed until the present. Otherwise, we would have seen him do the dance to beat Varna, for example. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean, they were just hyping up this fight, this ability. Yeah, sure, fine dandy. All right, so we're all caught up there. Let's make sure the stream's still going. Oh yeah, we got like 8 or 9 people in here. I actually thought a bigger turnout for a Shuumatsu Valkyrie thing. I thought like, 13, 14 people in here, but maybe somebody else was streaming at the time. I don't know. All right, so we were on the page where we were looking at Raiden's arms. He says, don't get too cocky, bud. And boom. Okay. Oh, he's doing that thing. Like, I understand why it looks wise. This is pretty disgusting. So he's pumping his arm up, pumping it up, pumping the other one up. Okay. All right. He's pumping both up like crazy to be like meat shields. And he's like, boom. And Shiva's like, and he's like, argh. So like they're so pumped up, they look like balloons. It's kind of disgusting. I have to agree with Solo Warrior on this one. This ability is pretty disgusting. Like the logistics of it. Like I had a little like bump in my forearm today, and I was like, and I was just rubbing across. I was like, oh, what's that bump? And then it disappeared. Like so, it must have just been a pulsing. Like you can get those sometimes where like your blood vessels or your veins are like popping a little bit, slow blood flow and stuff. And I was just like, oh, and I was just like rubbing across it. It was like, that's creepy. And for the next like hour, I was all like weird with my arm. I was like, that was creepy. I didn't like that feeling, something out of the order, right? So I get this shit. Like I don't, it's pretty gross. I wouldn't want his power. Put it that way. Okay. Next page. It's called Miyama. I don't know what that means, but my God, it's literally a rock wall out of his goddamn forearms. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. Not gonna lie, this is a bit ridiculous. I mean, not saying it's not within the context of his power, or that it's too broken, or that it doesn't work, but I understand what Solo was saying before, like, this is just weird and a little disgusting. I get that. So Raiden says, I can take anything you throw at me. Okay. So Shiva's like, a shield? Okay, has Shiva did nobody ever decide to, like, I want to do a Team 4-star joke here, but that would be dodge. But has no one ever decided to, what are you going to teach me? Block! Instead of the dodge joke, we get the block. Nobody ever, all of like the 1,200 gods of Hinduism, did none of them think to block when he used the war dance? Nobody think to do this? I mean, I know, I'm being petty right now, but it just seems like she was so shocked, like, oh, shield? Like, dude, you're moving so fast that he thought there was 5 of you. Hit him from the back again. Like, why? And then, like, I haven't read everything yet because this beer is going through me pretty good, so I'm going to have to take another piss break. I'm sorry about that, guys. I got a small bladder. But I'm already looking, and he's beating on the shield. I hate when they do that. Like, come on. You were literally running around him before. Why don't you just deke and kidney punch? Deke and knee in the back. Smack him from the back of the head with his wannabe Super Saiyan ponytail. Like, I don't get why he's so shocked. Like, once again, maybe I'm jumping ahead, but here on page 24, I'm just a little like, really? Like, it would have been fine if he did the war dance after this or something. Like, he was kind of coming on strong and he did the shield. Then he'd be like, all right, like we're pretty equally speed. I can't really, like, jump around you quick enough at 90 degree to get a hit in before you do this. But Raiden was getting his ass kicked, and out of he stands there, boom, with a shield on one side. He's got 3 open out of 4 sides. He does this, and now Shiva's like, I don't know, is it a pride thing? He's going to beat the shield down or something? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not... Maybe I'm being nitpicky, but something about that just really bothered me right away. Sorry about that, guys. Still, like, so far, this is a pretty good chapter. But, something about that bothers me. It's like, man, I was running in circles around him. Like, how many fights have we seen in fiction that shit happens? Like, oh, I was running in circles around him before, but now I can't do it. And it's like, there was no power-up, though. Like, Raiden didn't have a transformation sequence. He didn't turn into Sailor Moon Power or Super Saiyan or, what's the My Hero one? Full Cowl, whatever. He didn't do any of that. He literally just went like this, just bigger. Now, once again, Shiva might think of this next page and all this will be moot, but still. A shield. Raiden's focused his muscles into both his arms to put up a guard, completely shutting Shiva out. How? There were 5 of him last panel. Jesus. A true wall of flesh. Shiva's like, oh, nice one, man. Your muscles, my dancing. Let's see which one. Okay, now I gotta... Since he said nice one, man, he's all like shocked. I gotta give him like a surfer thing. Like a hang 10, man. Nice one, man. Your muscles, my dancing. Let's see which one. Let me guess what the next panel wins. Rock on. Woo! Now Shiva's acting like a goddamn surfer dude. All right. Wonderful. All right, I gotta see the next page. All right, win well. We'll come out on top. Whoa! Wowzers, radical, man. I got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of me. 7 of me. And not one of them thought to maybe do a 90 degrees to your side. We're just gonna wail on your arms. Okay. And there's wailing. And there's wailing. And there's more wailing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 of them now. He's moving so fast, Raiden thinks there's 7. Confirmed by Hermes, seen by us. So this means either Raiden all of a sudden caught up to his speed, but that's not the case because we're still seeing 7 shown to us to show what Raiden's seeing. That he's moving so fast he thinks there's 7 opponents, 7 Shivas, or Shiva's that goddamn brain dead he doesn't think to go around, and he already hit him in the back once, hit him again. I'm not saying I'm advocating for Shiva winning. In fact, I kind of want Raiden to win out of the 2 of them. Neither one. I would put neither one in my top 10 characters of Valkyrie. But like, if Shiva's gonna be stupid about this, yeah, not a fan. Not a fan of this approach. Not a fan. Either way, we're going for another leak. I'm going to pour a beer so when I get back, it'll be perfectly good. I'm going to pour a beer. I'm going to let that mull over in the chat. I'll come back, check the chat. Every Shiva fanboy will tell me what an asshole I am. And everybody who disagrees will say, no, you're wrong, because here's why, which I appreciate way more than people just telling me, you suck, Shiva's amazing. It's like, okay, but why? Let me know how I'm wrong, and then maybe I will change my thought process. I can't tell you how many videos I have made or how many reviews I've made, guys, where I'll say something and I'll be like, this is bullshit because of A, B, C. And somebody in the comments constructively will say, I fully fucking disagree, X, Y, Z as to why. And I'll be like, okay, I concede X and Y. Still disagree with Z, so I agree with my C, but, you know, I'll concede 2 out of 3 points. So in that, by that mathematical logic, I still lose the argument. But I'm willing to concede that if you can prove it to me. You know, if you make a better argument than I do, and I'm like, actually, yeah, I didn't think about that. I forgot about that line in that chapter. I forgot about that panel. I forgot about that SBS or whatever. You know, so then it all starts to make sense. I'm like, okay, yeah, so my argument, which was solid, went to, okay, it's pretty lukewarm. And I'm willing to admit that. But you got to present me with the facts. Don't say you're a Shiva hater, so you suck. Shiva's amazing. Don't suck Shiva's dick the whole time. Stop brown-nosing Shiva to me in the comments. Let me know why Shiva's so great and give me actual points. You know, then I can be like, okay, I didn't know that, I didn't know that, I didn't know that. I'm wrong. I have no problem saying that. So, yeah. Either way, yeah, I really got to go take a leak. Probably my last one before the stream's over. I'll try to hold it after this. But yeah. Let's go. Alrighty, let's check the chat after that little rant about Shiva and see how wrong I am according to the chat. There we go. Put that there. This. Alright. Man, my hair's going a little curly. A little... meh. Well, my hair is naturally curly, so... let's see. Vib's in here, says, bit late, what's he think so far? I think, Vib, great chapter. So far, pretty damn good chapter. I'm happy I live reacted to it. I think there's a lot of good things here. One says, is not that Shiva can't go around him, is more that Shiva sees it as, so you think he can handle my punches, so he's just attacking his arms right now. I get that. Like, that's why I mentioned, like, is this a pride thing where he's like, oh, I gotta beat down the muscle thing? It's like, it's just kind of stupid, is all I'm saying. It's not a smart move. It's a pride move, not a smart move. And sorry, we got Vegeta and Escanor for pride. We don't need another character that does stupid things based on pride that'll be cool. Like, for anybody else who does it, it's just goddamn stupid. You know? Like, at the end of the day, oh, I'm doing this for my pride. You ain't Escanor, man. You ain't Vegeta. So, if you're doing it for pride, it's just going to look like a bad move. It's only a good move if you're one of those two characters. If you're not, it's not a good move. It just makes you look like a moron for like, not going, oh, well, I was running circles around him. I could do it again. Like, I get that that's probably what it is. That's why I brought it up. Like, is this a pride thing? You got to beat down the wall. But I don't think it's a smart move. Certainly not. One says, at Vib, he likes the chapter so far. Yep. Urbex said, yeah, I was going to say that. Vib said, nice. MC Dude says, Raiden didn't go to the Piccolo School of Dodge, and it worked out. Apparently not. Yeah. Miss Content says, based on his speed, I think Shiva could beat Heracles and maybe Thor. I generally think speed is always over big, strong attack. I mean, speed is usually more important, or just as important as strength. You need an equal balance. It doesn't matter if you can hit your opponent 100 times if you lack the strength in your fists. But at the same time, if you have the strongest attack but you can't hit your opponent, right? It's always about balance with speed and strength, right? So, I don't think... See, Heracles was super nerfed. Probably one of the best characters in the series, and he was super nerfed. He's on the side of the gods, so he doesn't get a Voland. And anytime he uses any type of actual godlike power, it gives him immense pain and tries to kill him. So that's, like, Heracles is immensely nerfed in this series. So hard to say. I don't think, like, let's say Heracles could use the labors in the same way that Zeus can just do whatever he wants. All the gods can just pull out super moves as much as they want. Let's say Heracles can just go labor 1, 1, 3, 3, 5, 7, 9, and just do that shit and do all these crazy attacks without any repercussions sort of idea, other than stamina and endurance loss, sure. But let's say he's like a regular god. I think Heracles would still be a match for Shiva. But with the handicap, right now I'd probably say it's 70-30 on Shiv. Which sucks, because I love Heracles, and I'd want Heracles to kick the shit out of him, But Shiva, yeah, I'd put 70-30 right now, from what we've seen. Because we didn't really see what the final labor was capable of. Because Jack was broken for some weird reason. One says, to pass the school of dodge is hard. Exactly. Gohan did it, though. Episode 60, he did it. The one above all says, or episode 59. The one above all says, I personally think Shiva can beat Heracles and Thor easily. Easily? We didn't see Thor really go all out. And so I would actually say Thor is like a 50-50. Because we didn't see enough of Thor. We haven't really seen enough of Shiva yet. If this is the extent of Shiva, I'd almost give it to Thor. Because I don't think Thor had to go all out. Yeah, the gauntlets broke. It's like, oh my god. It's like, yeah, that was to help block the fact that Thor is goddamn out of control. It's like the necklace on Broly sort of level, right? That's not proving anything. So yeah. But Heracles, once again, I give it a 70-30 right now. Epic said, I don't know about Thor though. Yeah, like I'd bet that Thor could beat Shiva. Shiva hasn't done anything absurd like 40-day flood, so I can't say he's faster than Poseidon, says Miss Content. Yeah. Solo says, did you know Lubu has his own spin-off manga about his backstory? Yes, I do. I have not read it. One says, the best balance I can think of is both Zeus and Adam as of now. Best balance you can think of is both Zeus and Adam. As far as a fight, you mean? Or do you mean like Shiva is Zeus and Adam tier? I'm not... Maybe I'm misreading that. Vib says, he's on the side of the gods so he doesn't get a Voland. Aren't all weapons used by gods default on the level of Volans? Yeah, Vib, but what I was saying is that Heracles is a handicapped god, but doesn't get a Voland. Like, humans are handicapped, right? That's why they're getting the Volans, to try to even the fight, even out the playing field. They get a Voland to make it an actual semi-fair fight. Heracles is a handicapped god and doesn't get a boost. In fact, using his god powers is detrimental to him. So that's what I'm saying. You got a god at 75% and you got a human at 125. That's what I'm saying. It's supposed to be the gods are 100. The fucking I'm just using random numbers here, but the gods are 100. The humans are 75. The Volend is supposed to make up for that other 25% and make it sort of an even sort of playing field, regardless of the combatants, right? But with Heracles is not 100 god. He's like 75, right? Because of the detrimental to using any of his abilities. And the Volend, so you got a 75-75 even matchup, and then you friggin', that's what I'm saying. That's just my opinion. I'm a Heracles stan, and I like Jack the Ripper too, guys. You guys seem to forget that, but just saying. He was handicapped. Can't deny he was fucking handicapped. I don't see Poseidon or Zeus or Thor or right now Shiva having any detrimental effects to using bone-crushing god tier abilities. I don't see any detrimental effects. So there you go. Miscontent said they're divine weapons, but they don't necessarily have magical powers, except for Jax. Miscontent said Volans have those to balance out the gods' natural powers. Right, yeah. Well, I think I already talked about what I think the Volans are. As I said, I think the Volans needed a better explanation at the beginning, because I was really put off when Jack pulled out I got a special ability. And as I compared it before early in the stream, I was like, that's like Jack gets an elephant gun or like a submachine gun, and all the other Volans were shotguns or something. It came out of nowhere for me, and I was just like, So the one above all says, we saw the power of Thor and his final move, also which is the throwing hammer and then catching it back and gave a super strong hit. I mean, but do we know that was him going all out? He didn't really seem to, he struggled a little bit, but he didn't really, it wasn't like he was down on his knees against Lu Bu either. I think he won that pretty handily. That wasn't an even fight, in my opinion. Maybe you saw it different, but I think Thor won handily. Misconduct. I think we saw Thor go all out, but doing so let him mid-diff Lu Bu. Well, yeah, if you want to look at it that way. Thor went all out, but he fucking trounced him, with full out. One says, what I meant is that the only great balance between speed and strength we have seen on the whole tournament is Zeus and Adam. Both are fast and strong. Okay, yeah, I agree with that. Absolutely. Vib says, I forget what that text thing is. IIRC. The throw hammer and use the momentum of it coming back to make a big swing was Thor's strongest move. That we saw is what I'm trying to point out. Because, as I said, I agree with Misk that he basically mid-diff by starting to really ramp up and be like, I'm going to use 100% of my strength for one move, and it won, right? You guys are all acting it just seems that Thor decided, all right, I'm going to go all out. Boom! He goes all out for one attack, it wins, and it's well, okay, Thor was at 1% health left too. That's not the way I saw it. Thor was still that's basically going up in a Super Smash Brothers game and using the Falcon Punch to win the game, but you took 3 hits. You got 17% on your ass. You could stand there and get hit 28 more times before it would do any type of damage. It would never knock you off the edge. They could do 6 smash moves to you, and it wouldn't do anything, right? Okay, so Thor ended with a Falcon Punch. So he went all out for one move. Doesn't mean that he wasn't still standing there with a pitcher of health. But that's just me. That's my opinion. Might have been his strongest move, but doesn't mean he couldn't do it 5 times after that if Lu Bu had actually stood up. One says, yes, Thor went all out but mid-diff Lu Bu. Yeah, easily mid-diff Lu Bu by using his strongest move. Once again, yeah, he might have used his strongest move. He's I'm going to use 100% of my power, but that's Goku all of a sudden fighting in normal form and being pretty evenly matched. And I know Vib will hate a Dragon Ball Z reference, but that's him fighting evenly matched. Let's use something else. Let's use Bleach. All right? Bleach is coming back. Fantastic idea. Okay. So Ichigo is fighting in his normal Soul Reaper form, all good, pretty evenly matched, right? Then he goes Final Getsuga Tensho, boom, Mugetsu, and kills him. Not even Final Getsuga. Let's go. He goes Bankai and goes Getsuga Tensho Hollow Mask form. Boom, Getsuga Tensho, and wipes him out one hit. Ichigo just went Bankai, used one attack in hollow form. He still got plenty of power in reserve. Most of the fights in Bleach happened with him Bankai from the start in hollow mask form, going the distance. So that's what I'm saying. Like, Thor might have went Bankai, but he went Bankai for one move. He could stay in Bankai, guys. Like, so what I'm saying is that him and Bankai, that might have been his strongest move, but it might be the Getsugo Tenjo for Thor. And repeated uses is going to start chopping off some limbs. That's all I'm saying. One said, also, yes, it was stated that the move he used was his strongest move. Okay, it's his strongest move, but it could keep, there's nothing saying that, like, he was at 1% health, once again. Vib said, I think it was intended to confuse us with Jax Voland. I didn't mind the mystery. I had a problem with it because it felt like the other Volans didn't really have any special abilities. I mean, oh, it was a shield breaker. Oh, it increased his attack. Oh, it turned into two swords. Like, yeah, but there was two Volans. There was two sisters. Like, and if it didn't break, there was no special ability. If it stayed one sword, like, come on. Like, it was kind of a stretch. He got a special ability with the Volan. The other three didn't. Let's just acknowledge that. Misconduct said Thor had the least difficulty out of any winner. Absolutely. Everyone else won with high diff. One said, I mean, yeah, he can do it as many times as he wants, as he did show it. Right. Misconduct said Zeus and Jack won like 99% difficulty. Exactly. Like, it was like neck and neck. Each combatant was bloody and down for the count at the end of that fight. One said, yeah, Lu Bu versus Thor was the easiest fight of the whole tournament. Yeah. Misconduct said they were both basically one wrong move away from getting killed. Exactly. With Lu Bu could have probably hit Thor with his strongest attack and Thor would have came back from it, is what I'm trying to say. Viv said, well, the move was called Thor's ultimate killing blow. So I assume it was his strongest. But yeah, he can spam it. Right. I'm not denying, guys, that he went all out. 110% he attacked with this move. It's his best goddamn move. But he had to use it one time. He could have been fighting at 30% that whole fight and went, oh, you know what? I want to wrap this up. Boom! Lay down the hammer. Be done with it. One says, though he needs to do the whole process of throwing his hammer again, yeah. Vib says, DB isn't full of taboo for me. It's fine as long not excessive. Well, I used a Bleach comparison this time. I was going to use the whole, like, Goku in normal form, and then he goes Super Saiyan God and uses one Kamehameha to eradicate someone. It's like, in one shot with ease, it's like, yeah, that's what I'm sort of seeing, right? But I used the Ichigo Bankai thing this time, right? Solo said, what I think you're trying to say is that even though he went all out in the end, it was only for one move, so since he did it only for a second, he still had a lot of stamina left. Exactly. Thor still had tons of stamina. I used a Smash Bros. Reference, a Bleach reference, and a Dragon Ball Z reference to prove that point. And I think I'm done. I think I'm good. One said, yeah, he can still go on. Solo said, so in the fight, and generally did not go all out since he did not use 100% of his power all the time. Exactly. He had plenty of power in reserve. He went all out for one attack, and it won. And then that was over. I mean, Thor didn't break a sweat, pretty much. And one said, yeah, I get that. All right, so now that the chat is taken care of, let's continue with the chapter. Let's continue with this bad boy. So apparently, all of a sudden, Shiva's on page 26, his fists are literally on fire, and he's slamming them into Raiden, who looks surprised. Ares says, what's with that smoke? He's literally burning up. He's got flaming fists. If I had to guess, his intense dancing is causing his body to become superheated and combust. Okay, so it's like the Red Hawk thing from One Piece, or Zoro being able to light his flame, or swords on fire, like the friction. I'm moving it so fast that it ignites the air, sort of idea. But it looks like Shiva himself is starting to burn up or something, or the blood is, the blood dripping is like going away or something? Okay. Did you say combust? Says Ares. Indeed. It's one of the secrets of Sarvaga's destroyer. And he's still going at it. Alright, now he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so he's still got 7. It's Tandava. So he's striking against Raiden like crazy. So maybe now I'm thinking that means that Shiva is burning up. And he can't do this forever. So he's continuing to strike. Everyone's super happy. Raiden's, getting worn down, but it seems like he's holding. Shiva's going mad. Crazy flurry of blows here. Alright, Raiden's saying, how the hell long is he going to keep this up for? I can't believe there's a whole world full of these bastards. So Raiden's amazed and shocked. I can't hold out much longer. So even Raiden admits he can't hold out from this blows much longer. Shit. And he takes a blow that finally hits it. Said, looks like it seems to smack him in the back, like into his nose, into his face. Shiva notices, jumps up and says, looks like my moves win. He's going to come down on him. Oh, right in front of his face. Right between his two outstretched forearms. His foot comes down, raises it, boom, heel kick. And it's dropping Raiden. Raiden's like, oh no. Coming down, coming down, coming down. He's stepping on it, going to slam his fists into the ground. No, he doesn't slam him into the ground. He uses it as a pivot. He slams it down and spring. He uses it as a spring. Shivers up in the air. Legs rising. Gonna come down. Raiden's looking up. Let's finish this off. Comes down with a flaming foot of battle. And it strikes Raiden's shock. It strikes him. It looks like right down the middle. Right down the middle. Kritivasa, I guess is the name of the attack. Flaming battle attack. It explodes in crazy amount of power and just shock and blood and flame and I don't know what. It's black and white, it's manga, but it's like boom. Like it combusted. Once again, they talked about combustion. It sliced him all across from his face, all the way down his chest, down to his torso, down all the way to his waist. And it seemed to burn and cut him at the same time. Raiden still seems to be semi-conscious, suffering greatly, still standing up but shaking, sizzling completely like a goddamn pork chop, holding his head in his hands, and just completely devastated. We have the people on the human side saying, what the? It looked like some blood spurted out for a moment, but now it's just smoke. So it probably cauterized the wound, sort of like a lightsaber burn. It was so fast that it cut, as I said before, it cut him and cauterized it right away. So he's cut and burnt at the same time. Then we jump over. Yeah, Raiden's looking like a madman there. This art, the facial expressions in this art is... I can't think of anybody else who does it better. This is second to none, the amount of twisted up faces they make in this manga. I don't care. Even Sun Ken Rock and Dr. Stone, Toriko, Murata with the One Punch Man and shit like that. None of that comes close to these facial expressions. Like they're just the best in manga. The flesh that got torn open was cauterized in an instant. Yeah, so like I said, so it cut him and burned him at the same damn time. God, that would be intense. And Brunhild is looking none too pleased. Goal is there, just gonna puke. Raiden's in searing pain. Everyone's shocked, saying Raiden. And then we still have Shiva dancing, seemingly that he's not slowing down. We can see the fire in behind him. He's got an aura of fire. Said, did my dance get you fired up? Well, what did you think? All the gods, all the Hindu gods are cheering. Rudra's happy. Hermes, Zeus, and Ares look on. Odin's watching from a screen. Buddha's there. And it's just all silent. Loki, Brunhild. Oh, Sasaki and the members of the Shinsengumi, Okita and what's his name are standing there watching the screen. Next page. Both God and man. Everyone there. They're all staring at Raiden. Hey, look, Raiden's was convinced mankind had suffered their third loss. But Raiden... Okay, I'm going to butcher it. I'm going to butcher this damn name. I'm going to butcher it. Raiden Tamion. Sure. Tamemon. Alone. Seems to lick his lips. Or lick the scar. Softly. Man, what a pain. And he smiled. And that's the end of the chapter. Wow. Okay, so I'm assuming we get, following standard Valkyrie format, we're going to follow his backstory next chapter. And that'll be the bulk of the next chapter. I really don't think we need a big backstory for Raiden. But I feel like we're going to get one. We sort of already got one. Like, we understood, okay, he had this muscle thing, and blah, blah, blah. Like we already got that from him, right? So maybe they won't. Maybe the next, I give it another 2 chapters, could be the end of the fight, potentially. That would be really cool. So what I'll do, guys, is I'll make sure that when the next chapter comes out, you guys tell me if I got a live react to it. Then I'll assume, all right, if it's the backstory, I'm not going to live react, so guys just basically say, do a live react or don't in my Discord when the chapter drops. Sound like a fair deal? Because if it's about the backstory, then, and it's not, you know, like, looks like the end of the fight, then I did my live reaction, so we'll go back to reviews until we get, like, that last, or it looks like it might be the end, right? So, but maybe this one will switch it up. Maybe we won't be into that stuff, right? Maybe it'll be, we won't get a backstory. Who knows? So, alright, let's see. Let's jump over to the chat. Miss Conda said, that's one hell of a cardio routine, yep. One says, I personally think this might be a drawback to his trump card. Could be. MC Dude says, oh boy. Vib says, Savagar is pronounced like Swerg. Swerg? Swerg. Swerg. I don't see that in that lettering at all, but once again, it's not an English word, so what do I know? I know the English, I know the Queen's English, and that's about her. So, pronunciation is not my specialty. I wonder who the dude with the 2 colored hair is, says MC Dude. Seems like a very particular design. Oh, in the crowd there, the guy who was like, I can't imagine what pain he's in. Yeah, I don't know. It was he mentioned a few chapters ago when he first came out or whatever? I don't know. Epic said, I don't remember his name. Miss Conda said, Shiva's strategy to beat someone bigger and stronger than him. Number 1, cha-cha, real smooth. 2, let yourself on fire. 3, question mark. 4, profit. Yep. Pretty much. Cha-cha real smooth. Do-do-do, do-do-do-do, do-do-do. Turn around and punch Raiden in the face. MC Dude said he ripped through some scar tissue with his tongue. That's gnarly. It's pretty grotesque. I'll say that much. Solo says, wait, so Raiden would have bled to death if it was not for the heat cauterizing the wound, though this manga... So he most likely could still fight even if the wound were to remain open. Oh, and Viv says, Ta-me-mon. So it's Ta-me-mon. So the double E is supposed to represent a Y in my language. So Tamemon. Alright. I'll try to remember that for next time, guys. See, pronunciation and me, we ain't good bedfellows. Especially not for words that aren't in my language. So, fuck. Even though I speak Queen's English, the proper English, I still screw up a lot of my own words. So, you know. Yeah, so, I mean, he might not have bled to death. I mean, it was a pretty bad wound, but it's not like it cut him in half and got cauterized. Like, it was just a really bad open wound. Like, he might have bled to death, or he might have went like, ha 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 ha, and done some sumo technique to stop the bleeding. But possible. MC Dude said, so it's a fight chapter, but it's not the end. Do we recommend a live react? No. Do not recommend a live react for just a fight chapter. I didn't mind this one. I felt like this was pretty hype. And we got a lot of like cool information about Shiva and stuff like that. And we're seeming to get more into the actual... It looks like we're at the later half of the fight now. So that's really cool. So, I don't mind throwing a live reaction in now and again. But I just don't want to be Shuumatsu no Valkyrie to be only live reactions, right? Every chapter is going to have something that we like, right? So, if it's backstory or it's just fighting, but it doesn't look like it's the clear winner or anything like that, no live react. End of fight chapters or looks like it's going to be close to the end of the fight, you know, this chapter, next chapter is definitely the end, then, yeah, okay, those two chapters, fine dandy. Definitely not backstory chapters. Backstory chapters don't need a live reaction. Yeah, so one says, yeah, I give this fight like 2 more chapters at max. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Vib said, yep, exactly how you said it. Swurg. All right, I gotta do that with my mouth. Swurg. Like that. Make it really as creepy as possible when I say it. Miss Content says that multicolored guy was named in Ryan's intro chapter. That's what I thought. That's why I didn't mention him. He didn't he's just one of the characters. MC Dude said, well, how about that? One says everyone kinda is named, but they almost have so little significance we forget about them. Yeah, like remember at the beginning of the series, like it was like, oh, it's Isaac Newton and Charles Darwin and fucking whoever else, and it's like, okay, it's Socrates, and it's like, but they don't really play a role, they're just bystanders. One also says, I mean, if you see the page, a lot of blood came out. Yeah, like I'm not saying that wouldn't have been a terrible wound. I'm just saying that like he might have had some way of, you know, some sumo technique. I don't know. Viv said it was similar to how Lu Bu cut Thor, and Thor acted like nothing even happened. Yeah, pretty much. MC Dude said the way the scar looks in the last page makes me question whether or not Raiden just lost an eye. Maybe, or was cauterized closed, right? Thor's cut seems more superficial than the one Raiden got. Says one, I think he lost an eye. He might have. Let's take a look back there. Well, I don't think he lost the eye. I think that it's now the eyelid has been cauterized shut, so he probably can't open the eye anymore, right? Not that he doesn't have a working eye. I know people like that. Like technically, just to do some comparisons, I'm pretty sure that Zoro's eye, for example, from One Piece, is still in the socket. It's not a dead eye or anything, or he didn't lose his eyeball or his sight. He just can't open his eye anymore because the scar keeps his eyelid closed, right? When trauma is affected with the eye, it's so funny how the human body works. Not to go on another tangent, but the human body tries to save itself. That's why to drown yourself, even if you're suicidal, the mind, it's so funny because you have the forefront of your mind that might be all corrupted and screwed up, and you're like, and all you think about is death and killing yourself, and you want to die, and that's legit. Your brain, your mind, you're like, I'm killing myself, and you try to do it. Go ahead, jump in the ocean. When you run out of air, your body's going to still flail. It's going to try to get to the surface. It's an involuntary action. That's why people have to chain themselves to make sure they sink, so their body can't fight involuntarily, because the body doesn't give a shit what your mind wants to do. It wants to survive. It wants that heart to be pumping, those lungs full and like of air, and it wants to keep living. It wants that veins pumping. So it's kind of ironic how the body tries to save itself, and sometimes that's detrimental to science and stuff, that like bones try to repair on their own, but they repair themselves wrong, and that's why we get casts and all that stuff, right? So in the same way, usually if you take damage to your eye or close to your eyelid, this whole area, the muscle nerves around here will actually protect themselves. I actually have a scar. Is it this eye? This eye. I actually have a white scar coming down. I think it's this eye. It comes down through here, and actually my eye was like this for the longest time, for about I'd say about 8 months when I was younger, teenager, because I experienced trauma when I got cut right there, and it stayed shut to protect itself. I couldn't open, I had no function in my eyelid. And what the doctor explained to me is that the eyelid nerves are worried about further damage to the eye. The eyelid is there only to protect your eye, right? That's its job. So it stayed closed because it experienced trauma. And what you have to do is you have to do some stuff to it. But anyways, point is that, yeah, he could potentially open his eye again. But right now with the slash and the cauterization, no. He's not opening the eyelid again. Miss Content says, with skipping the double chapter this month, I didn't realize we were doing double chapters. I have a feeling they'll do that next month to finish up the fight, or give Raiden a long backstory to finish up in December. I want this fight done by the end of the year. Okay? I do not want to go into 2021 with the Raiden Shiva fight. I really don't. I want 2021 to be the next fight. That's what I want. I think that's fair. Vib says, Swerk is the word for heaven, so saying it creepily is lol. Heaven. Heaven. Now, see, it doesn't work. Like, Swerk. Like, with the G at the end, you can make it creepy, but heaven. Like, not, like, there's nothing to roll with the with the duck lips or anything. No. Weird. One says, I think Mozart also appeared. Yeah, so did Shakespeare and somebody else. Charles Boyle appeared, or Dickens. No, Charles Boyle. That's from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah, Charles Dickens. Sorry. Misconduct. It was an anime quantity of blood, so he'd be fine, right? That's what I'm saying, right? Like normal, you and me, we'd be dead before the thing would be cauterized. But yeah, Miscontent said, Raiden could probably flex the wound close, probably. Lol. One said, yeah, that's why I say he kind of lost an eye. Well, I mean, yeah, he probably can't open it. Dragon Droid said, guess who's back again? Vib said Arthur Conan Doyle. It wasn't Charles Dickens. It was Arthur Conan Doyle, the one who wrote Sherlock Holmes and all that shit. Yeah. So, anyways, guys, any final questions, thoughts, concerns? That's all I got. I was trying to think of something clever or funny, but I'm kind of tapped. Kind of tapped for that shit. Yeah, so anything else? Any feelings you need to feel like you can get out? This is a safe place, I like to think. I mean, I like to think we're pretty accepting on this channel. The YouTube community is pretty accepting. Like, I like to think of it in two ways when we come to acceptance, right? I like to think of it two ways. Now, a lot of people disagree with me on this stance, so I'm not going to use any examples because I don't want to trigger anyone, and once again, I don't want to be. I said meatball in a bad context, like really early in the stream, and it was like, oh my god, technically that's like a slur. Oh my god, I'll be on CNN tomorrow, right? But even though it wasn't intentional, it was just a mistake. I meant to say meathead, that kind of stuff, right? So I'm not going to use any terms here, but like as far as acceptance goes, like I like to think that, like, even if I disagree with you, for example, like, you take a topic, a religion, a political stance, for example. Like for example, I don't support Republicans. I'm not an American, so what does that matter? I'm Canadian, but I don't support them, right? That doesn't mean that I'm going to shut out a Republican who's a friend. I'm going to listen to them. I'm going to take their opinion, even about politics. You know, I'm going to listen to what they have to say before I make a judgment. I'm not going to dismiss them just because they're on something that I disagree with. There's a couple extremes for that, like Nazis. But outside of a couple extremes like that, I think for the most part, most people need to do that. Even if I fundamentally disagree with, I disagree with who you are, like what church you go to. I disagree what political party you're a part of. I disagree with certain life choices you make. You and I can still be friends. And we can still chat, we can still hang out, we can still share a beer. Right? That's my level of acceptance. You know? Like, I don't need to believe or agree or necessarily be a part of every single aspect of your life just because you believe it's right. But I can also be, you know, an open book and allow you to talk to me about these things, and I won't hate on you for it, and I won't bash it or discriminate against it or that kind of deal, right? I might disagree with it or might have different thoughts, but, you know, so, yeah, just off topic there. Let's see. Dragon George says, off topic, but imagine Hawk from Akatsuki no Yona in Record of Ragnarok fighting Thor. Oh my god, that'd be good. Okay, Hawk, when he first saw Suwon again. Yeah. I mean, remember that Zeno himself, and some guys who probably won't understand this, but people like Dragon's Rage who read Akatsuki no Yona, which, by the way, guys, one of the best mangas currently running. Read it. Zeno himself, who literally can't die, who continuously cut his head off, fine, stab him, burn him, do whatever. Immortal, like Zombie Man, but better. Cooler than Zombie Man from One Punch Man, right? Alucard, Helsing. Maybe that level of cool. Even Zeno says, the Mister, referring to Hawk, is scary. I wouldn't want to fight the Mister. This dude can't die. And the more you cut him up, the stronger he gets to the point that he can, like, lift horses with a finger and throw them like a football. But he doesn't want to fight Hawk, even as a sparring match. He's actually scared of Hawk. He's like, that dude's deadly. Even I don't want to fight him. This is a dude who can't be killed. And he's like, I don't care if I like can't lose. It'd be scary to fight him. He's that fucking dangerous. So, I don't know, man. Like, these guys are over the top, but I feel like if you put Hawk in this world, he would be like God level. I don't think he'd be like Zeus or Adam, but Hawk would beat the shit out of Raiden and Shiva, okay? Shiva's dance would not be a joke to him, but he'd beat it. I think so. Miss Kanta said the stream was a lot of fun. Thank you. I'm hoping to do, before the end of the year, guys, I'm hoping to do one more stream. By the way, there will not be a Halloween stream. I haven't even recorded the Season 3 Castlevania video, and I only have like 3 or 4 days left to edit and do that, and that was a lot of work, even though it's not super popular. I put a lot of heart into that, so guys, please go check out those Halloween special reviews. I'd like to have a few more views, a few more likes on those, just to know, because I spend a lot of time editing. Like, my reviews and my streams, I don't really need to do a whole lot of editing work, but I spend a lot of time making sure things are funny and try to edit in the right images and right scenes and things that clips and stuff. So it's a lot more work, and I like, you know, so yeah, I'm plugging myself here, guys, like shamelessly, like I am. But yeah, it'd be great if you guys could do that. Just check that shit out, because the Season 3 review is going to be the one on Halloween. I don't have time to do a stream. I got too much going on. I got to get that shit recorded tomorrow, because now it's 9:30 at night. I don't have time to record it today. So I got to record it after work tomorrow, and probably take Friday to edit it just to get it out for Saturday. So there's no way I'll get that video and a stream out. So just warning everybody in advance. Because because I'd like to do a stream, maybe in November or something, maybe early December. I'd like to do another stream where I invite people from the Discord chat, you know, have one of those. Even though it wasn't a super popular stream, I felt like we had a lot of fun. I had 2 or 3 people in there. It was a lot of fun. If I could schedule one in November, that'd be a lot of fun. Excuse me. MC Dude said Ryden's gonna bring the win home for the children he just got done making. I like that. I like that, MC Dude. Yeah, absolutely. Those furry babies. One says, just one last thing, Adam would win. Yeah, I've been saying it this whole fucking time. Everyone bitching at me, bitch moaning and complaining. I'm like, what are you, my wife? Adam would win. I said that back when Zeus went, sit down, Shiva. You can't beat this guy. I'm going out there because other than Odin, I'm the only other fucker that can take this fucker on. I don't even know about Eyes of the Lord, and I know you can't beat him. You know. Now I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what happened. Miss Content, also very excited for your next discussion stream. There we go. See, I brought it up and I didn't even read the chat yet. So yeah, I'm definitely scheduling. I'd like to get 2 more out before the end of the year. One around Christmas and one maybe next month. So, but we'll see what happens, guys. We'll see what happens. I'm very behind with my content. One says, and therefore Zeus, for all we have seen. Yep. One says, but I think Shiva is one of the top dogs. Not top 5. Not top 5. Buddha, Odin, Zeus, easily above him. And haven't seen enough of the other gods yet. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see a few gods that are above Shiva. So I wouldn't, even not knowing their abilities, I won't put Shiva in top 5. Just on assumption. One says, I don't know where to put Odin yet, as we have not seen anything from him. Number 2. Maybe number 1. Maybe Odin is stronger than Zeus, for all we know. Odin seems to be like the older Chancellor guy, doesn't he? It's more like Zeus is the like a happy version of Darth Vader. Not like, and let's not do the comparison. I'm just saying, like, as far as like, okay, Darth Vader was technically stronger than Palpatine in some lore and blah blah blah, whatever. I'm saying, like, it's like, it feels like Odin's like the Emperor Palpatine and Zeus is the Darth Vader. You know, and none of the other gods want to fuck with Darth Vader, but there is one guy who technically controls Darth Vader. Not saying that Odin controls Zeus or anything, so it might be a poor comparison, but it seems like Odin seems to be the top dog. He just doesn't want to be involved. It's almost like, yeah, Zeus can be the Chancellor because I don't want it. Sort of like that step down, sort of like that Garp. Garp in One Piece would be an admiral, but he refused it like 9 times. He doesn't want to be an admiral. But he'd be an admiral if he wanted to, you know. But he just like, nah, seems like a bitchy job. One said, yeah. Dragon says, I predict a draw to the end of the fight. Nah, the best draw would have been Jack Herc. That was the perfect time for a draw. We won't get another draw, I think. I don't think this fight needs a draw. We'll wait for the next fight. There's going to be a draw. I've been saying this to Chubb for a long time in Discord. There's got to be a draw. Because this ain't going to go the full 13 fights. A wrench is going to be thrown into the mix for either the next arc or like the final end battle or something like that. It ain't going to end with final fight 13 and then that's the end. A wrench is going to be thrown. That's why we get the Buddha and Loki shit in the background, right? So there's got to be something else in the mix. So there's got to be a draw somewhere. But I don't think this is the one. But we'll hold you to that, Dragon's Rage. One says, I don't know about a draw. I'll comment on the Halloween videos as always. Also, I personally think that Suwon's father is stronger than Hawk. Okay. First off, thank you very much for always commenting, Dragon's Rage. You're awesome. That's why you're a mod. Dragon's Rage also said about Suwon's father stronger than Hawk. I think Hawk is comparable. I think Hawk is one of the strongest characters currently in the series. And I hate that they're making that swordsman bodyguard dude look like he's like the best dude ever. But Suwon's father being stronger right now, sure. But I think by the end of the series, Hawk will be stronger. Viv says, we're done talking we're down talking Shiva. He hasn't even opened 3 eyes, let alone 5. We were talking about that earlier, Viv. You must not have been here, about maybe that was just an artistic choice, because so far we didn't see anything in his flashback indicating, though we didn't see the war dance indicated either technically, but all we saw him and Rudra do was fight with their fists. Even when it was Rudra versus Shiva, they didn't seem to do anything other than just a brawl, fist fight. Maybe super awesome martial art war dance techniques, but that's all they did. They fought with their fists. So, not saying that his eyes don't have superpowers, but maybe they're going to ignore that. Hard to say. I don't know. I'm fine with either. One said, I don't think the eyes do anything. They seem to be there for artistic purposes more than anything, to be honest. Yeah. One said the better fight that a draw would have been Adam versus Zeus. That also. But I think it was more powerful because Zeus fell down and they thought, but Adam was still standing, dead but standing over Zeus. And even Zeus, who wants to kill all humanity, acknowledged, like, okay, this fucking guy. It felt like the Rocky story, right? Remember, Rocky won, Rocky lost. Rocky fucking lost in the first movie. You know? But it was still an uplifting story. That's what this was. Zeus was Apollo, Adam was Rocky. And he lost, but the movie's called Rocky. You know? So, in this sense, Adam lost, but the movie's not called Zeus. Just saying. Dragon's Rage says, since Adam copies techniques of his opponents to be equal to them, so he'd be equal to Shiva, I think that's how his ability works. No. I don't believe that at all. I could be wrong. But common misconception. Because that's like, I had it on the tip of my tongue. I should have just said it out loud beforehand. But that's implying that they lower their power level or their strength to their opponent and fight their opponent on equal footing. That's not what Adam does. Adam sees every technique, every fist. Once again, perfect observation hockey is what Adam has. And then he has the Sharingan at the same time. He's got observation hockey and the Sharingan on top of each other. He sees a technique no matter how fast, understands it, copies it before it's actually finished, and then can perform that move before the other attacker. That's what he can do. He does not copy the actual... He doesn't, like... I'm not saying he doesn't also, like, take the strength or copy the strength of the technique, but you're implying the implication that he copies the techniques of his opponents to be equal to them, so he'd be equal to Shiva, is not accurate, because that'd be like, okay, if Adam went against a 9-year-old child, he'd have the strength of a 9-year-old child. No, Adam still has this fucking strength of a god, right? So, Adam has his own strength, plus the Volin, which people keep saying, oh, it added to his punching power. I'm like, I don't see that written anywhere, but fine, Danny, whatever. Just trying to retcon the fact that Jack got special treatment. And, yeah, so, no. His ability is observation hockey mixed with the Sharingan. So, One Piece, Naruto mixed together. He just needs a bleach ability and it's all good. Triple threat. So that's what he can do. It doesn't really have anything to do with his strength or his speed or anything. Adam's just a boss anyways. Now, if the technique implies, like for example, some of Zeus's techniques implied like this is the axe chop of Kronos or whatever. It goes at a speed of 0.1 second, right? For example. Then because that's the nature of the technique that Adam copied, his attack goes that fast or faster because of Eyes of the Lord. It copied the technique. The technique parameters make that possible. Right? He's just a beastly dude without it. Right? At least that's the way I take it. I could be wrong. But if you went off the whole, he dumbs himself down or lifts himself up depending on the opponent, I don't believe that. Because that would imply that Adam would be on equal footing with a 9-year-old child. You know, that doesn't make sense. Vib says, everything else aside, just taking about that point, you can't copy another set of arms. I mean, see, the Zeus fight didn't let us see this, Vib, but let's say Adam went against Ace from One Piece, using the Mara no Mi, using fire powers, right? Turn into fire. The human body can't turn into fire. Can't shoot fire from your hands. But with Eyes of the Lord, it happens. As impossible or as improbable as it is. So, we didn't see that in the Zeus fight because it was sort of, once again, just a fisticuffs with people with the same amount of limbs. I mean, I would assume that would mean that, okay, so Shiva can punch 4 times with the 4 arms in 1 second. Let's just use that as an example. Adam will punch twice with both fists in that same second. Right? He'll just be faster. That's all. To make the same amount of hits in the same amount of time. So his fists would just fly faster. That's all. But that is interesting. Because what about people with different limbs? What about, like, if you fought, like, the dude with the elephant head? And he used some sort of trunk ability. What would Adam do to copy that? But the Eyes of the Lord copies anything that it sees. So it doesn't matter how many limbs or what this or what that. You know, what if he saw, like, if there was some spider monster that spun a web like Shelob in Lord of the Rings or some shit. I mean, I'm not saying where it's going to come out of, but Adam would technically should be able to do it. So, Miss Content says, the only way to beat Adam is to be more durable and have greater endurance. So far, only Zeus has shown those traits, which was hanging on by a thread. We're talking about Thor and Lubu. Fuck that. Zeus was at 1% left to his health bar, to his stamina bar, to his everything bar. He told us that. Anyone else would have to have better reaction or functionally invincible. Right, exactly. One said, he kind of does copy the strength and speed. To give a better example, he copies the stuff and makes it 120% better than the original was. Yeah, he does make it better, or he does it first or faster. But, like, once again, he copies the strength of the technique, but he doesn't copy the strength of the opponent exactly. Because, once again, if that were the case, he'd dumb himself down to someone weaker than him, right? By that logic, he doesn't do that. If a 9-year-old punched him and he copied that punch would be the same strength as the 9-year-old, sure. But if Adam was fighting a 9-year-old and didn't copy, like when they were wailing on each other, Adam wasn't copying Zeus. Those punches weren't a copy of Zeus's. I didn't take it that way. I could be wrong, but, you know, he doesn't lower his own strength is what I'm implying. Like, Adam can still normally punch someone. He doesn't... Not every technique is Eyes of the Lord. When he uses an Eyes of the Lord technique that he copied, then, yeah, it's all the same parameters as he saw it. But he doesn't get weaker if the technique is weaker than him. Miscontent, or possibly the copied techniques are too powerful for Adam's body, but that was never indicated to be a factor. Yeah, no, it was never indicated. One said, yeah, that was never indicated. Only drawback is that he needs to rest his eyes from time to time. Yeah, his eyes are being overexerted. One says, I see him adding the strong of the opponent to his own. But he just adds, the strength. Right. What I've been saying. Right. One says, I think they did mention him copy the techniques and the strength and speed. Right. Of the techniques. But if Adam just throws a normal punch, that's his own strength. He's not like a mere... It's not a mirror image. That's the best way I can describe it. Adam isn't a mirror of Zeus or a mirror of anybody he fights. He simply copies the techniques he sees the opponent use. But if Adam were to strike first, it would be his own strength, with his own power, and have nothing to do with Zeus's strength or speed, if he were to throw the first punch. Does that make sense? Just putting that out there. Man, this stream's going on almost... It's over 2 hours, easy. Not really complaining. It was a good stream, but I still got to eat a late night supper, clean the kitchen, and then go to bed. I got work in the morning. I got a haircut, so now I can't really do my ponytail anymore. Kind of sucks. Not that any of you guys certainly missed it. My wife certainly doesn't. Nah, it's too short. Too short. Well, one says, yeah, that makes sense. Alright, guys. Well, I left the floor open now for the last 20 minutes or so. So, yeah. Oh, I was looking at the timer of OBS. Yeah, this has just been over 2 hours. So, that's pretty good, though. I had a fun time. I hope you guys did, too. This will be the end of the stream. Any more further discussion or questions, you can always just message in the Discord. Put an @Griever so I get the notification. I don't check Discord nearly as much as I should, but just put an @ for me. I don't mind that, guys. You feel free to do that if you want a response. Won't say I'll respond right away, but at least I'll get the notification on my phone and I'll be sure to check it back, right? So, yeah. So like, comment, and subscribe. All that fun jazz. Like that jazz music I was doing for the war dance. We're doing the jazz. We're dancing. We're white boy dancing because white boys can't dance. Yeah, so... Oh, Dragon's Rage quickly said, I noticed the author of the series doesn't really explain stuff in full detail and lets readers come up with conclusions on their own, which is fine, but then you get the Jack Fallen thing. And then I was a little... I'm still salty, boys. So, yeah. But everybody's saying later. Dragon's Rage in 1 saying, yeah, good stream. See you guys later. All right, guys. So, once again, double whammy, like, comment, and subscribe. Always appreciated. Don't forget to check out the Halloween review for Season 3, the current last season of Castlevania. I hear Season 4 and even if Season 5 are in the works. I'm super stoked about that. Netflix Castlevania series. The Season 3 review, I'm going to do my darndest, come hell or high water. That review will be out for Season 3. Make sure you watch the series. Check it out. It's not that long, guys. You can knock it off in a weekend. I'll have that out on Halloween. And that'll be the video for Halloween, and that'll end the Halloween special. So, and if you're curious about the series, go and check my Season 1 review of that. It was an alright video, not too proud of it, but I did some good editing, I guess. So, but either way, yeah, definitely check out Castlevania if you love video games, if you love manga, you love any of that shit. It's a mixture of the best of both worlds. It's a fantastic story. And Dracula's character, mwah, 4-dimensional, like just 4-dimensional, guys. Screw 3D. We want 4D, right? So, anyways, yeah, that's enough plugging for me. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. We'll see you back here next time. This has been Griever signing off. Drink responsibly, yada, yada, yada. More Dragon Ball Z references to piss off Vib. And we'll see you later. How do I end this thing?